Okay, so today we're going to talk about crevice corrosion, which is a localized type of corrosion, which, as the name suggests, occurs in narrow openings, gaps or spaces or crevices where the electrolyte can ingress and stagnate. So crevice corrosion can occur between either two metals or a metal and a non-metal, and as we can see from this slide, it's a very widespread issue. So in this top corner here, we can see that crevice corrosion has occurred where two plates are to join. Here at a gasket, we can see there's crevice corrosion, and we also get it occurring at these riveted plates and also these screws here where a component is threaded. So because the issue is so widespread, and also because it's a localized type of corrosion, it tends to lead to failure very quickly, and therefore it's really important that we understand as materials engineers and corrosion engineers exactly how it happens and why it happens so that we can stop it in future. So we're just going to go over why it occurs. So in this example here, we've got two pieces of iron metal which are joined together in a lap joint. So we can see that we have this small area here where there's a little gap in between the two metals, and in this area the electrolyte can ingress. So we know that in order for corrosion to occur, we need both an anodic and a cathodic reaction. In this case, the anodic reaction is going to be the dissolution of iron, and this produces these positive iron cations and also two electrons. So the electrons are used up in the cathodic reaction, which is the oxygen reduction reaction. And at first, these two reactions take place evenly across this outer metal surface and within this small crevice here. So obviously this cathodic reaction needs oxygen in order to take place, and therefore we need to keep replenishing the oxygen from the outside environment, such as from the air. This replenishment can take place a lot quicker on this outer surface than within the crevice region. And therefore we get the outside becoming preferentially cathodic because more oxygen can get there. So this means that the inside the crevice we get an anodic region where the metal dissolution occurs, and we get this build-up of positive metal ions here within the crevice. Secondly, in most cases, these positive metal ions react with water and produce hydrogen ions, which form a very acidic region. And we have a big build-up of positive charge as we have these metal ions and hydrogen ions, and therefore this leads to the flow of chloride ions coming in. So chlorides are negative ions, and therefore they flow in to balance the charge. So chloride ions are also very aggressive, and they tend to break down any protective layer we may have on the metal surface, and therefore as we get more and more metal dissolution and more of these metal and hydrogen ions being produced, we get more and more chloride ions coming in, and therefore we can say that the process is autocatalytic. So now we understand exactly how crevice corrosion works, we want to learn how to stop it. So most of the ways in which we can stop crevice corrosion are around design. So it's really important that when you graduate now, you go into the workplace and you recognise why these issues are happening so that you can fix them. So the first one, design, we could pick more corrosion resistant materials. We should also design the geometry of components so that we don't get water stagnating and we get adequate drainage. In terms of joining, we could avoid these vaulted joins, and if we're using a joining technique, for example at a flange, we can use these tight fitting gaskets which adhere well in the gap and therefore prevent any crevice from occurring. Then secondly, fabrication. We can use welds in order to seal gaps, so we can see that in this case the weld is incomplete and therefore we get a build-up of a crevice. And then finally, in terms of maintenance, so crevice corrosion can occur under bits of corrosion product or dirt or sand where it's really difficult for the oxygen to flow under. and therefore it's really important that we do a regular cleaning and inspection to get rid of this and prevent the issue.